Hello Flosstube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen and this is my fiber web where we talk about cross stitch and knitting and crochet. Hello, today is November 10th, it is Monday. It is cold and windy and it snowed a little overnight at my house. I think right now it's like 31 degrees, but it's supposed to be 71 on Saturday, so we're still in between. It's not actually winter yet. It has been a little while since I have filmed. You can probably tell if you are a subscriber that has been watching me for a while that October did not go as planned. So instead of talking about what I was going to do for October, I'm just going to go through everything that I did do and what I have worked on so far in November. Spoiler alert, I did not work on as many projects as I thought I was going to, but I will take you through what I did in chronological order since my last video, I think. I did not go back and see what exactly I showed you, so hopefully this will be everything. If not, then there will be, you know, a gap, and that's fine. So mostly what I have to show you today is cross stitch. However, I have been knitting and crocheting quite a bit, so I have a couple of those things to show you at the end. Yeah, like 4 or 5 projects that I've been working on. But yeah, I'll save that for the end, so if you're not interested in the yarny things, you can just bounce. Okay, so I have a whole calendar for October. I could put it up now, but that would be a spoiler, so I'm just gonna talk through what I did. Since I can't remember what I already showed you, the day before October, so September 30th, I decided to start Spirits of the Dead by Modern Folk Embroidery, and I was planning on working on this throughout October and I did not. So this is one day of progress. This is the fabric is a 16 count Aida from Be Stitch Me that does not have a name, and this is what I did. So yeah, this was one day of progress on Spirits of the Dead. And I don't know if you can tell, I did the thing where you do a half stitch and you cross every 10th to help count, so that I could make sure that I get the frame in there correctly. So that was the last day of September. And then on October 1st, I believe, is this right? Let me just look. Okay, so I did end up spinning a wheel throughout October. On the days that I decided to stitch, I checked my calendar to see if it was supposed to be a whip day or a new start day, and I just spun that wheel. So I just told you I wasn't going to say what I was going to do for October, but I am, kind of. So my original plan for October was to spin either a whip wheel or a new start wheel each day of the month to choose a project for me and work on 31 different things in the month. I did not work on 31 things, but I did follow my calendar. So if I felt like stitching that day, I checked if it was a new start day or whip day, and I spun that wheel, and that's how I got where I got. So on October 1st, I spun a whip wheel, and the whip that I got was the Spooky Teapot by Tiny Modernist, which looks like this. And yeah, I started this last October. So this is an Under the Sea Fabrics 32 count linen, and I believe all the stitches, I worked on this for one day, and I think everything I did was the light colors on this teapot, and then like maybe some of the white stitches, like these little single stitches. I'm pretty sure all the orange and green was already in there. So that is how far I got. I'm doing that one 2/2 with the called for DMC. I don't know why I have it back. Okay. And then the next day was the new start wheel, and I spun, this is called Baby Batweed. It is a freebie from Noctiflora Designs, and I finished this one. So, I grabbed, last year I did this little freebie from Noctiflora, which is called baby horror fly. So this one went along with the rare horror flies stitch along, but I think it's a freebie that you can just grab if you like it. And so this year I did this one, and I put the same backing fabric on, but obviously I have not stuffed or closed up this pillow yet, and you can see through the dots. And then just to show you, I think that same day I took my assembly required finish from, this is an ink circles pattern. I finished it last year sometime, I think, and I put this little moon and stars fabric on, but I also have not stuffed or closed this. I just did that because I had the sewing machine out for the other one. And I wanted to expand my Halloween decorations, but it just didn't happen. Okay. So next, what was next? On Friday, so October 3rd, so I did 3 days in a row of October of actually doing my plans. And I spun Halloween Quaker by Lila Studio from my whip wheel. So I worked on this for 1 day. I think I have before pictures for these, so I'll see if I can find them and I'll put them in so you can see how much I got done. But I'm pretty sure I mostly worked on this ghost. I think I stitched some of this little, I think it's a cat, to get over to the ghost. That doesn't make any sense. I could have just started the ghost from here. I don't know why there's like part of a cat. Maybe I did that after the ghost. But this fabric is awesome. It is from Witch's Garden Crafts, and it's called This Is Halloween. Here is the whole piece. Is my guy upside down? I don't know why that happened. Sorry. Here's the whole piece. It is Ada. What count is it? 16 count, I think. I am using 2 strands. And I got most of the called for overdyes for this, but I think there were a couple that I just subbed from my stash of overdyes. This one is very fun to work on. And I started it with Erinn from the Hathaway Stitchers, Cozy Town Stitches, and Alex from Selleck Stitches. Like last year, but it was before October. Okay, and then I didn't stitch anymore until the full moon, and I got out my moon phase belt pull. Now, this is going to be a slight spoiler. I have not done my stitching for this month yet for the full moon, which was on November 5th, because I did not stitch that day. So, but I did get the stitches done for October. So as long as I get them done this month, it's fine. So here is how far I got. This is 32 count opalescent Lugana from Mystic Fabrics called Night Sky Brandy. And I believe, I don't remember if I had already finished the frame, or if that's what I did last month. I was gonna say, I think I was trying to finish the black, but there's like, these little pieces are mirrored up here, and I didn't want to try and count to them. So the black is almost done, I think. And yeah, I just have these will be mirrored up here. So I have one little crescent moon, and then the rest of this one, and one more, and then it will be done. And then the little stars around. I am stitching this with Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe every full moon this year. And then Amy from Amy Loves Toads and Megan, the Wide-Eyed Stitcher, joined us. They both finished theirs now. Amy finished hers last month, or this month? This month? She did not do the trees, and she did it this way, and she already fully finished it on like a piece of wood that hangs over a doorway. It looks really good. So it's just me and Stephanie left to finish this one. But I believe Amy and Megan are still going to stitch moon-themed things with us. So that is fun. And we need to pick a project for next year. Or maybe we already did. We picked... Maybe we're all going to do Kathy Barrick moons? I don't remember. I don't remember anything. So, that's where I'm at right now. So hopefully I will work on this soon. I missed the full moon, but if I still want to get caught up so I can finish it next month, then it will be done. Okay, so let me look at my little... I'm not showing you my calendar, but I do have it up. So that was the 6th for the full moon. I think I also worked on it on the 7th to get the stitches done, and then I did not stitch it all again until the 12th. And then, ooh, I have 4 days in a row. So on the 12th, I spun my whip wheel again, and I got Field Mouse Hollow by Brenda Gervais. And again, I hope I have, I can put the before picture in so you can see how far I got. I know I worked on the shoe, and I think I put these stars in, but the green was already done. I might have done the lighter orange too. Like I think this, yeah, this pumpkin is new, and the most of the dress on that mouse. So this one doesn't really have a ton of stitching except in the shoe, and I think I am color completing. So, or that's what I was doing. And I still need to figure out, can you see the shoelace has an actual like thing that you tie? I need to figure out what I'm going to do for that, if I'm going to do that or what. But yeah, I was happy with my progress on that. And then the next day, I did not spin a wheel because I started a new project with Samantha from Kansas City Stitcher. Samantha, I'm not sure. I'll tag her below. I don't know the exact thing, her exact name. But she had reached out and said she wanted to start this one too. So we picked the 13th because that was easy to remember. So here's the pattern. And I don't remember if I showed you last time the fabric I was going to use, but it is a mystery fabric that is like a purple and gray. I don't know which way this goes. It probably doesn't matter. Sorry, it's a purple and gray, like, mottled, pretty good Halloween fabric. So here's my start. I did a center start for this one. Let me show you the pattern again. So I started in the middle where the fire is under the cauldrons, and originally I was just going to do this all in DMC 310, but I decided to pull out this Pirate and Robin, it is Pumpkin Sunset, for the fire, and I think I will use it for some other accents throughout the piece. Or, I don't know, it might just be the fire in the center. That might be cool too. We'll see how I feel when I get a little further. So, that's how far I got. I think it looks, this color is perfect for flames. Okay. And Samantha is using a variegated floss, which looks super cool. So, check her out too if you want to see that. Okay, and then I spun the whip wheel again the next day, and I got Minerva by Kathy Barrick, which looks like this. And I started this one last October, and I had a bunch of problems and had to frog like 5 times. So I was a little nervous, but everything went very smoothly this time. So here's how far I got. Again, I hope I have the before picture that I'm putting up so you can see. So I think I pretty much did like all of her tail, and I know that like the skin on her body is all new. Yeah, that might be it. So like the orange and black and that white color. I think I already had the rest from last time. So yeah, this is on 40 count, Ancient by Picture This Plus. And I'm doing it 1/2 with the DMC. I did not get the, it's charted in NPI silks and also has the DMC conversion, so I'm just doing the DMC for this one. That's gonna fall. Okay, and then let me look at my calendar again. Okay, one more day. So this was October 15th. I spun the whip wheel again, and I got Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs, which I believe I started with Elizabeth from Savory Sewing. I always get mixed up because there's also a Savory Knitting, which is a completely different person and a designer. But yeah, Savory Sewing. And this is another one that I got all the called for flosses for this one and was not happy with how they were working together because the die lots have obviously changed. But I got it out this year, and what did I do? Again, I think I have a before picture, so hopefully I'm showing you that. Here's where I got. I'm pretty sure the moon and the star are new, and I think like this thing and some of these squiggly bits, and then obviously like I started working on the border. I think I thought that maybe Since the colors in the house were making me angry, I could just like get a bunch done on the border. And yeah, that's how far I got. I think this was a decent stitching day for me. But there were a couple days in October when I tried to pick up a project and I did like 4 stitches and then just put it down. Like I just wasn't feeling it, and that's okay. All right, and then I have one more. What day did I work on this? You probably don't really care what day. This was a week later, so I took a whole nother week off, and then on the 22nd I worked on Autumn Dream, which is by Cottage Garden Samplings. Another one that I started last year. I think I started it in September though, last year. And what did I work on when I pulled this out? Oh, so I had forgotten that I messed this up last year. Like somewhere underneath the pumpkin house, I counted something wrong. Like I'm missing like 4 stitches. So like this branch is not as long as it should be, and then these berries are kind of bunched up weird because I was counting off of the right stuff in some cases and the wrong stuff in others. But I think it's gonna be fine, basically. I'm just gonna try to get things back on track as I move up in this branchy wreath thing. So I tried to do that a little bit. I tried to get myself back on track over here, and then I don't remember if I worked on the bird too. I think I might have worked on the bird a bit, and I maybe put 1 strand in of this variegated DMC for the berries just because I wanted to. I don't remember. I might be completely lying. Hopefully you're looking at the before picture and you can just laugh at me for not remembering what I did. But yeah, I like this one. This one's fun. Okay, and then on November 2nd, I started a little ornament from Just Cross Stitch magazine, but that was one of the days where I think I put like literally 12 stitches in, and I was just like, no. So I'm not going to show you that today because it's silly. So that was all the stitching I did in October. And things that I did not do are I did not work at all on the new dragon for this Flossy Fox Shop stitch along that's happening right now called Flower Dragon Meadow. And I think the email just came out today with the 4th part, so I am officially 1 entire dragon behind, and there are 2 more now available that I could stitch out of 6 total. So hopefully this will get some stitches soon. I love the happy colors in here. I kind of forgot about this until the email popped up in my inbox today. That's the theme. I just forgot about things. Okay, and then I mentioned at the beginning of the video that it snowed a little bit here, just like a dusting. It wasn't a big deal, although the sidewalks and driveways were like a sheet of ice this morning, so I got to watch my kid like ice skate down to the bus stop. But I decided to pull out my snow day stitch from last winter, which was White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick. And I did not do a very good job of stitching on this every time it snowed last year, but I'm just going to try again. So it snowed yesterday and today, and I have worked on this. I have it in a nurge hoop, and I am just planning on keeping it on my stand throughout. I mean, I'll just keep it on my stand unless I want to work on something else. I don't use my stand a ton. I use it if I am doing full coverage or if I am doing 40 count that I want to put in a hoop, but most other things with larger stitches, I would just stitch in hand. So I could leave this in there for a while, potentially. And let's see. Here's how far I am. So this one, I don't think I took a before picture, but I can tell you that yesterday and today I do remember what I've been stitching on. So the needle is poking right out. Let me just stick that up there. Okay. This motif is all new. I started it yesterday and I've been working on it today. And there were a couple white stitches in this Quaker. Sorry, things are falling. In this Quaker that weren't done, like there's like a white stitch in the center of these little berries, so I put those in. And I think this, and then the white that is in these little things, I think that's all I've done. So that's actually pretty good for me for 2 days of stitching since I have not been feeling it that much. So maybe this will be the piece that can bring me back to it. So I'm going to try to finish this motif today. I was thinking earlier that showing this piece probably really annoys some people because until today, none of the motifs were actually done. They were all partial. Like, the moth is not done. I started this and didn't finish it. These two guys, I did one and not the other. There was like, I think one of these little white things was missing, and then I told you like the center of these berries. And then like this one is still missing a few stitches, and like this one didn't have the white. Like everything was just partial. And I think usually, probably, when people stitch a Quaker, they do like the entire Quaker before they move on. Not me though. So I am trying to finish motifs as I go. Maybe that will help me get a little more done, except the moth. I don't want to work on that yet. So this chart is kind of, I have the paper chart, obviously, and I was a little annoyed because it's 3 pages. It's like 1, 2, and then there's like this little sliver of a page over here. So I'm going to try to get this page done so I don't have to worry about it, because I made working copies of the first 2, but not the little sliver. I don't know why. And now my printer that has a scanner that makes it easy to just make a copy doesn't have ink, or doesn't think it has ink. So it still works as a scanner, but I don't use it as a printer. I could scan it in and print it on my other printer. I just don't want to deal with it. So I'm just going to try to get those stitches done, and then I'll just have my 2 working copies that I have been highlighting of the first 2 pages. That's a lot of information. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so that is all the stitching. I'm going to do I have some Stitchy haul and Stitchy kindness, so I'm going to show you that, and then I will jump over to the yarn things. So I got the Next Year in the Woods, the turkey. Did I show you? I don't know if I showed you the 4th one, and also I don't know where it is, so there might be another animal that I didn't show you. And you can't even see this one because the threads are in the way. But I have it, and I have not started any of them except the wolf, the first one. I think that's true. I got my October fabric of the month from Bestitch Me, and it's November now, November 10th, so you can see it. I didn't take it out of the bag. What is it called? Martini. The word is huge, and I couldn't find it. So I was in the 36 count linen neutrals club, and I actually canceled that because, okay, so I canceled it. In the past, I have like switched to a different count or whatever, and I've switched between like the mix group or the neutrals or the color or whatever. I just canceled it. So I'm not going to be getting a fabric of the month for a while, and I think that's fine because I think I have enough right now to do what I want to do with just whips, honestly, and I have a lot of fabric stash, so I don't need any more. Okay, and then next, I got, the rest is Stitchy Kindness. So first, from a very lovely friend, I got Meg's book, Witchy Stitching. This book is awesome. It has 25 patterns. It is a much thicker book than I thought it would be. I don't know why. I thought it would be less pages. It's got 190 pages. I'm very excited about this. There is, in particular, I'll just show you one. I'm sure people have done flip-throughs and stuff. But there's like a companion piece to Poisonous Plants, which Poisonous Plants is hanging up on the wall above my little calendar over here, which also, I don't know, you can't see it that well, but that's Bear's paw print up there next to the calendar. Maybe I'll show that a little closer later. So here, this is Carnivorous Plants. So I would really like to do this one. The only problem is that frame that I used for Poisonous Plants is thrifted, and I'm not going to be able to find one that matches, but I can find one that coordinates and then have both of those. But yeah, this book had a lot more in it than I expected. This was a very generous gift. Thank you very much. So yeah, I haven't stitched anything from it. I was going to throw this onto my wheel for October, but October didn't go as planned, so at some point I will pick something from there. Might be Carnivorous Plants, might be something else. And then more stitchy kindness. So my friend Abby, who is Mountain Mama Stitches here on YouTube, is opening an Etsy shop. I'm not 100% sure if the shop is open yet. I know on her Instagram she shared some of her initial offerings that she's going to put in her Etsy shop so that her followers could get like first dibs. And she sent me some goodies that she made. So I'm going to try to show you these. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Here's one. This one might be my favorite just because the colors of the beads. These are like, so these are like typical shiny stones, like polished stones. And then this one is, I don't know what you call these. More like a lava rock, like like a pumice, like it's got the holes in it. I like the colors. This one has 3 owls, so I also like this one because I have 3 boys. They're not all gonna face the same way, but the colors are beautiful fall colors. And then this one, oh, these were packaged super cute too. This one has 3 coordinating pieces. So there is a floss ring with a little charm. And then another scissor fob that matches. And then this one looks more like a progress keeper for knitting. Like it just has this like lobster claw clip, but you could put this on as like a zipper pull or whatever. So those 3 are a little set. Very cute. So I think I might have giveaways for some of these in the future, but I'm not gonna do that right now. So if you like these, stick around for giveaway, or go check out Abby and see what she's got in her shop potentially, or on her Instagram page. It's Mountain Mama Stitches, and I will link it in the description box below. And then one more thing, my mom got me some little stitch markers. So these are for knitting, to keep, like when you have all your stitches on your needle, you put them in to keep track of things or whatever, help you count. I thought those were cute. I haven't used them yet, obviously. Okay, so now I believe, I don't really have any stitching plans. I'm not going to try to make any plans. I'm just going to go by vibes, and if I feel like stitching, I'm going to stitch, aside from my snow day piece that I'm going to try to work on, which I already showed you. So next I'm going to show you knitting and one crochet thing. So I did a lot of knitting in October because October was the month of the Stephen West mystery shawl knit along. I think it's the 15th or 16th year that he's been doing this. I feel like I just made that number up. He's been doing it for a long time. I have participated in several years of the mystery knit along, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do it this year or not. This year is called Mystery MusiKAL. So Stephen was inspired by like the score of a musical and the different types of songs and the chorus and the melodies, and so that was the theme. And I actually finished this. So I kept up with this every week. Every week in October, a new piece came out for 4. There are 4 clues to the mystery shawl. So I'm going to show it to you. So if you are knitting this for some reason and you are trying to stay spoiler free, then I applaud you, because this shawl is everywhere. But also don't look right now if you don't want to know what it looks like, because I'm done. So here is my shawl. It is kind of a crescent shape, but it had an unusual construction, so let me walk you through how I made it. So this was the cast on right here, and we started with these, like, Stephen called them scallops. There's, let's see, this is difficult to show you backwards. So there are 6 of these scallops, and like if you're knitting a half circle shawl, use like, it was similar to that, like if you were going to cast on in the center and then just go back and forth, like making your half circle bigger and bigger. It's not exactly a half circle because it's like a wedge, but that was sort of how it went, back and forth, back and forth. there's like these welts, these like 3D welt pieces. There's brioche, and there was also a garter stitch option, and this is just like a little different texture with 2 colors. And then, so you knit these little scalp things one at a time. So this one, and then like this one, and this, whatever. And then part 2 was, I think, these wavy things. Is that true? I don't know if part 2, I think part 2 was these wavy things, which were pretty easy. It's mostly garter stitch, and then there's just a little, there's a little row in between each wave that's like knit 2 together, yarn over. Yeah, then we did these parallelograms that kind of look like, I was going to say checkerboard, but that would only be 2 colors. And then this section here had, it's just like this basket weave thing, and I think mine ended up really looking like bricks because I just happened to use a sort of bricky color with the brown and the pale pink, and then the green in the background was reminding me of like, I don't know, ivy or something. And then the last part was this border. So there's a brioche, and then a reverse stockinette, little stripe, and then brioche. And it was written to have 3 of these bands of brioche, but I ran out. Like, I didn't start with full skeins, so it's not like the pattern's fault, but I ran out of 2 of my 3 colors, and this brown that I used on the back of the first brioche section isn't even in the shawl anywhere else. That's the only place I used it. It was like a scrap from a pair of socks I made, I think. Not a scrap, like a partial skein. And then if I had tried to do a third one, I would have run out of at least one of the colors I was using and had to add another new color to the shawl, so I just did 2. And then the bind off is an I-cord bind off, so it took forever. I think there were like 530 some stitches at the end to do the I-cord bind off with. So it was like, if you're not a knitter, it was like you're doing 1 row of knitting, but it was like 4 or 5 hours to just do the bind off. So maybe I'll put it on since it's hard to show the whole thing. I haven't blocked it yet, so this is, it'll like relax a little bit when I wash it and lay it out. But yeah, it's done. I did it. I finished it in the month of October. I still have a mystery shawl from Stephen West that is partially done. It's called Twist and Turns. I don't remember if it was 2024 or 2023. I think 2023 was the one that had a lot of controversy maybe, and I finished that one. So it must have been last year's. I don't know. It's a whip in a bag somewhere, and I thought about getting it out. I used Magpie Fibers yarn for that one. Oh, I didn't say. This was just a bunch of leftover sock yarn, or like sock yarn that I had caked up for socks that I decided not to make. So it's all different brands. I just pulled from stash. I used a picture. There was a picture that I found on the internet that was like some, like a rose bush that was starting to sort of dry up, that like these colors all were in the picture. That's how I did my color palette. And it ended up being kind of similar to the color palette that Steven used in the tutorial, which I thought was funny. Anyway, the other one that's still a whip is like a Magpie Fibers base that has cashmere in it, that like I bought the kit for the shawl, and the yarn is super soft and super nice. So I should probably finish it because I would like to actually wear that one. Okay, and then I don't remember if I showed you this finished sock yet or not, but I finished my first of the pair of these self-striping socks. It's just a vanilla sock. It's Knit Picks Felici, I still don't know how to say it. The color is rustic cabin, and then I had for the heel and the toe, it's a different yarn. It feels different. I hope when I wash it, it won't be quite so noticeably different, but it is a little bit thicker, which is probably good for the heel and the toe. and it matches pretty good with like this color. So I did a true afterthought heel where you pick up 2 rows of stitches, like you put 2 rows of stitches on needles, and then you cut the yarn in between your 2 needles, and then use the ends of that to weave in the sides, and then you knit your heel. That makes no sense if you've never knit a sock, maybe, but that's how I did it, so that the stripes would stay the same width. I have made self-striping socks before where I do the heel flap and gusset, which is my favorite heel based on the fit, and I could tell that the stripes get a little scrunched up. When you're wearing the sock, you can't really tell because your sock is scrunched up right on the top of your foot right there anyway, so like it's not anything you need to worry about. I just wanted to do it this way so that my stripes would be the same for this sock. So I cast on the second one, and I've been working on this while watching the Bears football games this year, which, like, the Bears they keep winning, which is not normal, but it's been fun to watch. It's been frustrating because they're not, like, necessarily winning in the best way, but they're winning, so a win is a win, right? Okay. And then there's another shawl that I pulled out for a couple days. This is called Cloudbreak. It is by who is it by? I want to say, I have a name in my head, but I don't think it's the right person. So I'll just put the designer on the screen because I don't want to say the wrong one. Let's see. Okay, so this is a little bit scrunched up on the needles, but here's where I'm working. This shawl started down here at this corner, and then you are doing like increases as you go to make the rows longer and longer, and then there's this, what do you want to call that? There's this stripe section, like this netted stripe section, which is does that count as mosaic knitting? It's sort of like mosaic, but you're also doing some stuff. You're moving the stitches around to make that sort of like chain link look. It's pretty simple. It's been fun to make. So there are 12 different colors, I think, in this like muted rainbow that I have. And so this section, we used each color once, and then in this section, the colors reverse order, and you go through the color sequence twice, and then you bind off. So it's very simple, it's relaxing. The main yarn that I'm using, I think it's a Fiberco yarn. It's like it's got some little fuzzies coming off of it. It's not much of a halo, but it is very soft and nice. And then I just have this. These are my colors. Some of them are minis, some of them are leftovers. There's one color that I'm not going to have enough of for the next stripe. So I don't know if you can tell here. The first stripe was green, and then there's like a dark blue, and this next stripe is slightly lighter, and then there's a purple. So the lighter blue I ran out of. So I'm either going to just skip that stripe and bind off early, or maybe find another color to substitute in there, whatever. But I started this shawl forever ago, and it took me a long time to get to the part where I did the first band with color, because it was just sort of boring and the same thing forever. But sometimes that sort of project is exactly what I need. So lately, after doing the Westknits shawl, that was very, like, you have to pay attention because everything's changing, and it's not like just a simple, easily memorizable pattern. I just wanted something easy. Okay, and then this month there's another mystery shawl knit along that I'm participating in. This one is a design by Locatelli. It only costs $3. I think it's like, she said it was like a thank you to everyone for supporting her for so many years. So this one is a one skein shawl. She has some, at least one other pattern that's like a, I think she has more than one, like one skein wonder, you could call it. So just like good way to use a special skein of overdyed yarn or speckled yarn, or like something that you can't seem to find anything else to put it into. So I wasn't going to do this, but then my mom showed me her start the day that the second part came out, and I just decided to cast on. I don't know what this yarn is. It was already, I already had it wound up. The color reminds me of squished up blueberries, or like, I don't know, it's like raisin, rum raisin. I don't know what the yarn is. I don't know who made it. I don't know what it's called, but it's a sock yarn. And this is going to be really hard to show you. There's, I don't know how to, there's some lace. If I put something light colored behind it. Oh, that kind of works. So, yeah, that doesn't really look like anything. There's, it's mostly garter. It's mostly garter stitch. We cast on, we did like a garter tab cast on here, which is where you knit like a little skinny piece of garter, like 3 stitches of garter, and you do like, I don't know, 12 rows, 18 rows of garter stitch with just 3 stitches. So you have this little tab, and then you turn it sideways and pick up stitches along the side, and then that becomes the base of your shawl. So yeah, then it was just garter. There's like, the edge is kind of cute. There's like a slip stitch with some increases on both sides. I don't know how to describe it. And then yeah, there's this lace that you can't see. Hopefully if I finish this and block it, you'll be able to see better, but there's just some like little wavy lacy bands so far. So I'm caught up with this. I did part 1 and 2 in a couple days. It didn't take very long. And it just looks like not much right now. But the second lace panel used the same like stitch pattern as the first one. You just do a couple more repeats of it, and yeah, the rest is just garter. I will say that I think Hohi added charts like after most people were already done with the first clue, but I hadn't started it yet, and I opened it up and I tried to work from the chart, and the chart instructions were very wrong. And then for part 2 she added a chart, and the instructions for that were also wrong. They were like, the chart, if you followed the chart, it would give you a slightly different design. But I think she said she was going to put out a fix for it. I don't know if she did. So if you happen to be knitting that, just be careful if you're using the chart. And then I have one more project to show you that I have been working on quite a bit, and it's not going to be that exciting if you've seen it before. It is this crochet blanket. So my friend Jacintha, who is crafting on the plains, is hosting a cozy blanket craft along. I don't know what it's called. I'll link it in the bottom. But her post said whether it's like knitting or crochet or stitching or whatever, work on a blanket in the month of November, and you can join in. So I was working on this a lot through October, but I'm going to keep going. So I am using this Caron Big Cakes yarn that I believe I got at Michael's. I think Caron is Michael's. These big cakes. It's called Toffee Brickle, and I don't remember how many of these cakes that I bought, but I only have, this is the only one left that I have not broken into. So there's this one plus one partial cake, and that's it. So maybe I can stand up. So right now it's as tall as me. It's like dragging on the floor right now if I hold it up here. Yeah, it's taller than me. And I don't remember, it's just a granny stripe. I don't remember how I decided. I think I tried, when I started this, I tried to make sure that the stripes would be, like I tried to make it close so that I would use about one stripe of the cake for one stripe of my blanket, if that makes sense. So each color has like a down and back with the just regular granny stripe, like bunches of 3. I don't know what you call that. I don't know a lot of crochet terms, but I know how to do it. So I'm using the colors from the ball, except there's like a gray color in here, and I chopped that out. I didn't like the gray. I replaced it with white. It's actually called Natural Heather, and it is Lion Brand Woolies. Not the thick and quick, just the regular, because this is worsted weight. So you can see here, like I am changing colors every down and back. And I did weave in the ends on this part, but most of it I still have to weave them in. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a border on this because I don't know what color I would use. I want to maximize. I'm just going to keep going, I think, until I run out of yarn. Although I didn't realize that this was already as tall as me. I'm 5'6", so whatever. I'm going to keep going. And then I could, like, I don't want to put a white border on it because I feel like the border is the first thing that's going to get like grimy. And these other colors I don't have. I don't know if I can order them, like try to find a color that looks close enough to one of these that it's a match, or just don't do a border. Like one of the edges looks really nice and straight. Sometimes my crochet edges still come out kind of wonky, but like it's not too bumpy or anything. So it could be fine without a border. Let me know what you think. Would you put a border on this? And what color would you do it? And don't say to use this ugly gray, because I'm not going to do that. Because then it will just look dirty, because it doesn't show up anywhere else. I would have enough to do that, but I'm not going to. Okay. So I have several blanket whips between knitting and crochet, and I was thinking I might try to work on them all this month for Jacintha's craft along, but I don't know. I should probably just try to get this one done. But you might see some more blankets. I am going to try to get back to a normal filming schedule where I can do like once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks. I think I'm just going to give up on trying to plan things out ahead of time because that's not working for me right now. And with the way life things are going, I'm probably not going to be into planning things that much for a little while. Yeah, life update wise, my second child, so I have 3 boys. If you're new here, I am a single mom. I have 3 boys, and my second child turned 10 in October. And my youngest is about to turn 4 later this month, so that has been fun. Halloween happened, trick-or-treating happened. Things have been going okay. We had school parent-teacher conferences last week at the school, so I got to hear about how everyone is doing at school. And yeah, just still going through the divorce process, so there's still a lot of things that need to be figured out there. But yeah, we've been doing pretty well. I don't feel like I'm fully ready for winter, which it doesn't really matter if I'm ready or not, but like seeing the snow flurries was cute. And during the Bears game, the Bears played in Chicago yesterday, and it was like snowing there gently. It looked pretty gently. It's a little windy, but it wasn't like crazy blizzard snow. It was just like little snowflakes coming down. That was cool, but I'm not ready to like actually deal with snow. I did have a fire in my fireplace yesterday, which I shared on Instagram, which was very cozy and nice. I went to the bathroom today before Cole went to school and came out, and he had some of the ashes, and he was like driving his cars through them on the coffee table. He said it was fancy dirt, so that was fun. I had to clean that up real quick after he got on the school bus. So yeah, everyone is doing well, as well as we can be, I think. And let me grab this little paw print just to show you. Okay, so for those of you who have been here for a while and were a fan of Bear, he passed away, which I shared in a previous video, I don't know which one, and he was cremated, and I got a clay paw print, and I got one of these for my previous dog Rufus, who was a Boston Terrier, and this one is far nicer, and I just wanted to show. This is my little paw print. So there's his paw and his name, and then they also provided this little stand, which it's just like a little plastic stand, but it's nice. So Bear will still be in the background of my videos, just up on the shelf now. Okay, so on that note, I will say I hope that you have been taking care of yourself, and I hope that you are doing well. I don't want to say sorry for not having a bunch of videos in October, but I did miss filming. I just wasn't in the right headspace to do it for a while. So I'm happy to be back, and I hope to be back more regularly now. And yeah, I really appreciate this community, and I have been feeling the lack of interaction lately. I have not been as active like on Instagram or anything, and many of you have reached out to me, and I really appreciate it. I don't think I responded to everyone, and it has nothing to do with you. It just has to do with me and my headspace and trying to use my energy for the things that I need to do, which, you know, cross-stitch and YouTube are not things that I need to do. They're things that I like to do. So I'm happy to be back today, and I appreciate your patience if you were waiting for me to post in October. And yeah, hopefully I will see you around more often now. And yeah, I am just sending cozy thoughts and love to all of you, and I am going to stop talking now because I am just babbling. See you next time. Thank you for watching.